All right, so now we're on to radian trig equations level 1. It's actually really similar. I'm not quite sure what the difference is between this and the last section, but we're gonna just do it again anyways. So we have 4 sine squared x minus 3 equals 0. We're gonna solve for it. Just gonna zoom in so we have space. Let's start writing. So we're gonna want to get sine of x by itself, get the trig part by itself. So add 3, add 3. We have 4 sine squared x equals 3. Now we're going to divide by 4. Divide by 4. We get sine squared x is equal to 3 over 4. I'm going to write the next part over here. We're going to do a square root. Square root. We're going to get sine of x is equal to, I'm going to write radical 3 over radical 4. Also, like what we said earlier, you can get the positives or the negatives. So I'm just going to write that in now instead of later, so we don't have to go back later. So remember that when you're solving equations and you take a square root, you can get a positive answer or the negative answer. So we're going to have positive or negative radical 3 over radical 4. And then let's simplify this. So we got sine x is equal to positive or negative radical 3 over the square root of 4 is just 2. So this. Any questions up until here? All right, so since we did a square root, then we come out with the positives and negatives in our answer, and we got sine of x is equal to positive or negative radical 3 over 2. So then in the unit circle, remember from that chart we just wrote that sines are our y values. So we're going to be looking for y values that are positive or negative radical 3 over 2. And let's see where we find those. So I see that here's a positive radical 3 over 2. Here's another positive radical 3 over 2. Let's look for the negatives. I see a negative radical 3 over 2 and negative radical 3 over 2 over here. So we're going to have 4 answers. And let me circle the radians that correspond to those. Pi over 3, 2 pi over 3, 4 pi over 3, and 5 pi over 3. So those are our answers. Before I submit them, do you guys have any questions? All right, so let's save that. Okay, let's look for the pi button. Okay, you see on the keyboard on the very bottom, right underneath the 1, 2, 3, right underneath 3.
I just found it, yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, so we're gonna have pi over 3. And then what was it? 2 pi over 3. And then 4 pi over 3. I think it was 5 pi over 3. Hopefully I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, okay. And then we can submit answer. And then we got it right, because it's just like the last section, and I don't know what the difference is, but yeah, it's still here. Okay, so this one's really basic. I guess I'll still do it as an example, but I'll just, I don't know, whatever. So we're going to solve this trig equation for all values of x between 0 and 2 pi, where sine of x is equal to 0. So remember that sine is our y value. So we're going to look for the y value of 0 on unit circle. Okay, so let's go look for that. Where is our y value equal to 0? Oops, I'm going to highlight this part first. Here's a y value of 0. Here's a y value of 0. So our corresponding radians would be 0 radians and pi radians. Any questions on this one? Okay, Let's go do 0 and pi. But remember, if you think I'm going too fast, just like interrupt me. I swear it's okay. Okay. Let's do one more just because this one wasn't, or that wasn't like the hardest example. So I want to give you more examples. Besides, if you didn't need examples, you're probably already working anyways. So we're going to solve the trig equation for all values from 0 to 2 pi for 2 sine x is equal to negative radical 2. So what we want to do is get the sine by itself. And the way we do that is we're going to divide both sides by 2. And then we'll get sine of x is equal to negative radical 2 over 2. So get the sine by itself, and now we're going to look for, I guess this is a sine, so remember that sine is going to be your y value. So we're going to look for y value equals negative radical 2 over 2. This is what we're looking for on the unit circle. Any questions on this? Okay, let's go look for it. Where can I see the y value being negative radical 2 over 2? Right there and right there. So therefore, our radian answers would be 7 pi over 4 and 5 pi over 4. So let's go enter those into delta math. 5 pi over 4 and 7 pi over 4. All right, so that's it for this section, especially because it was very similar to the last section and I honestly don't know the difference. So if you do come across something that I didn't record because I know my examples are different than yours, just let me know and then I'll come help you.